Hey guys, I'm RNG Gamer. I play all my games randomly. Welcome to another game pickup video. I have a whole bunch of interesting stuff I grabbed, including some pretty obscure things. So let's just dive right into it. I don't freaking believe it, but Limited Run Games actually mailed a game. I have like several $1,000s worth of games pre-ordered from them, including a bunch that have just been sitting in the warehouse since like February. We're still waiting on those to come in, but one game trickled in, and it's this one. It's Valis, the Phantasm Soldier Collection Volume 2, and this has like the MSX Valis game, Valis 4 from the Genesis, Valis on the TurboGrafx 16, and then like, I don't know, some other one, whatever the case. I've never played any of the Valis games. I pre-ordered the Valis 1 collection from Limited Run Games long before this, and it still hasn't come in yet. I don't know how many games I have like that are just sitting in the warehouse. I know they've changed warehouses, but man, it's like June. February to June with games sitting in the warehouse, like completed orders that are ready to ship, and they're still just sitting there. What's going on with that company, man? Get your stuff together. If you have grievances with Limited Run Games, leave it down in the comments. And while you're down in the comments, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and click the bell notification so you know when the new videos come out. They come out every Saturday. So we went out to the yard sales and the thrift stores, but that was a little while ago. So let's flash back to that. All right, guys, we're filming this on a totally different day. In just a couple days, I'm going to the Game Jam South convention in Huntsville, Alabama, and I'm planning on like trading or unloading or selling this stuff. Some of this stuff, it's all extras in my collection. And I wanted to make sure I filmed this video before that happened, because the rest of this video is going to be filmed later when I pick up more stuff. Went out to some yard sales this last weekend. At the very first yard sale I went to, we found a Nintendo 64. There it is, there's the console. It doesn't have the expansion pack, it just has the jumper pack. But so we found a Super Nintendo this season, then an NES, and now a Nintendo 64. We're just like knocking out all the generations, right? And it came with 2 controllers. We got the Jungle Green, I think is what they call this, and it's decent stick, and standard old gray N64 controller, another decent stick. These don't look to be played too much. It also, of course, has all the hookups and stuff you'd want with it, and it came with 3 games as well. We've got South Park, which I did not have. I'm going to be adding this into my collection, so that one's going into the backlog to play one day. Madden 99, wah wah. But it also had Goldeneye, which is super sweet. I already have a copy of this, of course, so this will be up for trade at the convention. Then a little bit later, went to a yard sale. My daughter bought a bunch of like jewelry, like kids jewelry and stuff. They had one game, Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the PS4. I paid $2 or $3 for this. I already have this sealed behind me. So I'll trade this for, I don't know, maybe I can get like $5 for it or something. I don't even know. What's it going for? Not much, right? They sold like 5 million copies of that game. One of the large neighborhoods in my town, it's gigantic. I don't know how big it is. It feels like it's like half the city. Fairly upscale. They were having their community yard sale, and it had like close to 50 houses participating in it. And I saw people with like moving trucks like there to pick up stuff from like 10-hour away drives. So like people from neighboring states came to this community yard sale to try to score, so it was crowded. I bet there were over 1,000 people at it, and the neighborhood's huge, so I figured my chances were pretty good to hit a house that somebody else didn't. But like always, when I show up, they're like, yeah, people were here at 4 a.m. asking for video games, knocking on my door. Course. Anyway, this was a gift from a woman. She put this out for sale, but she didn't have any games, no controllers, no hookups, nothing, just the console. And she was like, nobody wanted it. So I just kind of pulled it to the side. If you want it, you can just have it. And I was like, I'll give you some money for it. She's like, nah, just take it. We're just trying to clear out stuff. This is it's backwards. Hold on, let me turn around here. The Advanced Warfare Call of Duty Xbox. It's pretty sweet looking. I think it's a cool looking console. I love the gray and black and gold. like I said, it was free. I guess I could flip it and try to make money, but I kind of want to keep it. I'm just going to keep it and put it on the shelf because it's so cool looking. There's the Call of Duty logo. I don't know if it works. I haven't tested it yet. I'm assuming it's going to work fine, but even if I had to like swap out the insides, the shell is so flipping cool on it. And think whatever you want about Call of Duty, but like they do make some pretty good like special edition consoles. They don't make them, but they license them or whatever they do. Just as we were like leaving the huge neighborhood with 1 million people in it, we pulled out of it and there was like what I like to call a piggybacker yard sale going on where somebody's like, hey, my neighbor's having a yard sale. I'll just put out some stuff and try to sell it at the same time. They didn't advertise it, no announcement, nothing. They had some good stuff. We have a new Nintendo 2DS here in the branded case, and it comes with the blue and black, I guess, 2DS, new 2DS XL. This is the one I use, but I have the orange and white version. It had 4 games with it, no cases, which is the case. Wah wah, pun time. Super Mario Maker 3DS, Minecraft, my daughter's favorite game. I guess this is Luigi's Mansion 2, new Super Mario Brothers DS, which I already have. Anyway, this whole bundle, I had no idea how much it's worth. I don't know the prices of a lot of consoles. I'm more familiar with the games, but it belonged to a kid, and it was one of these like, hey, do you have any video games? And he's like, I do. And his mom's like, you sure? And he's like, yeah, I want to get rid of it. Okay. So he brings it down. I go, how much do you want? And he goes, $20. And I was like, that's not enough. And the mom's like, how about 100? And I was like, normally I would come back with like 50. Like, you know, he said 20. She said 150 seems like a fair point, but it was a kid, so I was like, how about 70? He's like, yeah, that'll be good. And Mom's like, that's fine. So I bought it for 70 bucks. Come to find out, these are like over $100. I'm not sure. I feel kind of bad, like flipping it. I mean, I'll trade it. I don't know if somebody wants it, but we'll see. Anyway, I didn't know. I should have maybe looked it up. But what was funny about it is right after I got done with that and asked them if they had any old video game stuff, another guy walked up and he's like, you got any old video games? And they're like, yeah, we have some PlayStation stuff. And I was like, what? I just asked you that. And they're like, we don't have anything. And the kid was like, I have this. So the guy that came in behind me got like another deal. He got like a PS4 and a bunch of stuff for like $100. I missed out on it. Anyway, the other thing they had there, and this is kind of cool, this is the Hori Mario Kart, I forget what they call it. What is it? The Mario Kart Racing Wheel Pro Deluxe. And they wanted 50 for it. I bundled it with this for $100. So 70 here and 30 for the racing wheel. Pretty decent deal. Anyway, like I said, I'm gonna take all of this stuff other than South Park on the N64 and the Xbox to the Game Jam and trade it away or sell it or get rid of it or whatever. I'm, trying to get my money back out of it. Hey guys, it's a totally different day. This is the afternoon before the Game Jam convention. I thought I was all set, ready to go, and I stopped inside a Salvation Army. A Salvation Army that never has anything, by the way. And they had some Switch games. And I picked them up and the price was really good. And I thought like, well, I want one of these, but the other two, like maybe I can trade them at the Game Jam or something. So I had to film this video first so I could put it on the next pickups video, which is whenever that's gonna be. The Salvation Army I went to, they didn't even have prices in their system for Switch games. And the manager was like, we'll just do 3 for 20. And then when he like had to do it manually, they came out to $6.66 each. Which was really funny. The manager's eyes like got big because the Salvation Army is like a Christian organization. They didn't like that, but that's what they charged me. So it came out to like $19.98 and we rounded up. But here are the games, and these are all complete. Cave Story, great game on the Switch. Great game in general. I played it on the PC and I finished it again on the Switch. This one's complete. It has the mini CD and all the goodies that come with it. Really cool. Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's pretty good. The price of this one's up because the new game comes out in just like a week or so. Both of those I'll trade or like sell to somebody or something like that to get some money to like buy something I really want. But this one I found I was excited about it. I've never played a game in this series and I'm going to add this to the collection, but it's The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I believe this is like, is this Fenyx Wright? I don't know. I guess it's a Fenyx Wright game. Maybe not. It's done by Capcom. It got really good reviews and for, almost $7, I couldn't say no. So, back to the other video. Hopefully everything works out for me at the Game Jam. All right, we're back to the present day. It all worked out. I ended up taking all the stuff that I picked up this year, which I've spent about $350 on, and I flipped it all. I don't usually like to flip stuff, but these are all extras, and I flipped it to Fenyx Resale and some other people. I got like $1,005 total with all of it. So I tripled my money. That's pretty good for just extra stuff I didn't want that I picked up just here and there. So let's dive back into just the games I bought for me. I needed to use my GameStop $5 Pro monthly coupon or whatever. I was trying to find something to buy. This is cheap. It's Immortals Fenyx Rising on the PS5. I had this on my wish list when it came out to get, and then for lack of a better term, a lot of people pooped on it. So I was like, maybe I won't get it. But here recently, people have been saying it's kind of like Breath of the Wild without the weapon breaking mechanics, which was my least favorite part of Breath of the Wild. And since the new Zelda just came out, I kind of got in the mood to play something like that. So I picked this up. After the $5 coupon, I think it was about like $8 or so. Very Greek mythology based. Let me know if you guys liked this one. This one has been in the backlog forever. My wife has tried to pick it up for me for like Father's Day and Christmas and my birthday and things, but neither one of us can find anything but the Switch version. So a couple copies for the PS4 popped up on eBay. It's the Capcom Fighting Collection. It has this big nasty sticker on the front of it. I tried to peel off, but obviously I failed pretty hard. See the back of it? But it's 10 classic fighting games from Capcom, and including like Darkstalkers, Knights, Warriors, Vampire Hunter 2, Vampire Savior 2, Hyper Super Street Fighter 2, the Anniversary Edition. Ooh, that's a mouthful. Red Earth, Gym Fighter, Cyberbots, whatever that is, and Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Anyway, it's supposed to be really cool. I've played none of these games. I've always wanted to play the Darkstalkers games. I've never had the opportunity to do it. So here we go. This was $22-ish, and it's brand new. It's sealed, so I paid retail for that. Happy to have it though. We have a pickup from Red Art Games. I love Red Art Games. They're probably my favorite like limited run game style company. They're pretty inexpensive. They ship their games out and they put out a lot of shoot 'em ups. You guys know how much I love shoot 'em ups. I pretty much pick up every single one of them that comes out physically. This one does not have a very good cover on it. It's the Space Elite Force 2-in-1 bundle, and it has Space Elite Force 1 and 2 on it. And I think this is done by the guy that did, or the team that did Steredin Binary Stars, which I reviewed on this channel and thought was a really good game. I'm sure this is much simpler, but happy to have this. It was about $30 shipped from Europe. Here's another one from Red Art Games, another shoot 'em up. This one has a much better cover. It's Z-Warp, which looks really cool. I love that guy, man. He's sweet looking. You can see the back of it. I don't know that this is the case, but this looks like, I mean, the art style and the graphical style of the people that did the Project Starship series, as well as like Red Death. It just looks like them. I'm not sure if they're the ones that did this, but I've liked their games so far, thus far, but this looks pretty decent. Once again, it was about $30 from Red Art Games. Happy to have that one. I really like Red Art Games because they don't include like a bunch of weird extras with their, their games. They just like, it's just the game. So the cost is lower. They don't have like a bunch of postcards and keychains and random crap like that I don't want. I just like stick it in a box over here in the closet. Like I don't even want to keep up with that stuff. And speaking of a bunch of random stuff, here's a game probably like none of you guys have heard of because I'm the only one I know of that has heard of this. It's from One Print Games. I think they're out of Singapore, but this is Sky Racket. This is a combination shoot 'em up tennis game, which is really cool. I think that's a really neat idea. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I'm excited to get this one. It is shipped pretty quickly, and it was only $30 or so as well. But included with it, we got a flipping keychain that I don't want, a guidebook, which looks like an art book, that's fine, whatever. I wish it fit inside the case, but what can you do? A soundtrack CD that's pressed and sealed, that's cool. I like soundtracks. You can include those as extras. Those will fit on a shelf. And then we have like a sticker, whatever, an authenticity card. More swag. I don't really want the swag. I don't care about it. Just don't include it in your game and knock like a few bucks off the price of the game, please. You can get the games out faster too. You don't have to wait on all this crap to get printed. We have another shoot 'em up here. This one's from Strictly Limited Games, and people are saying this is one of the best shoot 'em ups to come out in years. It's got a terrible name. It's Drainus. There you go. I mean, the box just shows like the ship, and on the back, to me, it looks black. But with the lights, you know, blasting me in the face, I can see that there's like the outline of a brown ship back here. Whatever. I mean, this is the collector's edition. I wanted to get it because there was so much fanfare going around the game. I wanted to get the collector's edition. It was about like $80 or $90. But it comes with like a postcard. There's some more artwork, so you can kind of get the art style of the game. Mark MSX from the Electric Underground like had nothing but good things to say about this game. So I'm looking forward to that one. All right, we're down to the last 4 games. These are my favorite pickups out of all of these. If you've watched some of the previous videos on my channel, you will have seen that I recently played through Gradius Gaiden on the PSP collection, the Gradius collection. The PSP can be plugged into a television, but it like makes the picture of the PSP, it's like 30% of the screen of your TV. So it's like huge black bars all the way around it, and you have to sit really close to the TV to be able to see it, which I really don't like. I told you that story to tell you this story. I picked up the Parodius collection on the PSP. I think it might have been in a pickups video I did like over a year ago. I paid like 100 and something bucks for this, but it has all the Parodius games on it. And if you don't know, the Parodius games are like a spin-off of the Gradius games, but they're like parodies. They're silly games. Parody, Gradius, Parodius. And they're supposed to be a lot of fun, and I've always wanted to play them, so I picked this up. Not knowing that I freaking hate playing the PSP on the TV. Also, it has a terrible analog stick and an even worse D-pad, so it makes it hard to play the game. So after spending 100 bucks on that wasn't good enough. I wanted to be able to play it not on the PSP, so I bought a bunch of the Parodius games that I already owned on the Super Famicom. The first is Parodius Die. Right here we go. You can see how silly it is. Very cool looking. This is complete in box. You can see there's always a featured kind of like Las Vegas showgirl involved in all the Parodius games, which is, how can you complain about that? This is the Super Famicom version. The one on the collection is like the arcade. I might compare the two, but I imagine this is the one I'll put the most time into. Next up is Gokujo Parodius. This is the third Parodius game. When you get it on the Super Famicom, this is also complete, and once again it has the showgirl on the back. And this is also, like I said, the Super Famicom version. The arcade version is on the PSP collection. I'll be playing them and comparing those two. And next up we have Jikyo Oshiberi Parodius, which is the fourth game. Now this one's a little different. This is the Super Famicom version, but the version on the PSP collection is the PlayStation version. So I'm excited to really compare those. I don't think there was an arcade version of this. I'm not sure. Maybe there was. I paid like 200 bucks for these. And it's weird to pay like 200 bucks to replace games you already paid like 100 bucks for. Oh, it's like 300 bucks to play the Parodius games. Also, these games came from Japan, and I like bought these on eBay on a Wednesday afternoon, and they were at my house on Friday. 2 days shipping from Japan. Limited run games can't get their stuff shipped out. Amazon next day shipping is taking like 5 days. But apparently a store owner in Japan can pack up these games, drive them to the post office, ship them halfway around the world, get them through customs into my house in like less than 48 hours. And if you don't believe me, here's the screen capture from eBay showing it. I can't believe it. Freaking 48 hours and they're at my house. That's incredible. So those three Parodius games, they usually go for $60 to $70 a piece. So I wanted to pay $200 for all three of them. I found a posting on eBay that had them for under $200, but it had a fourth game thrown in, which is Gradius III on the Super Famicom. Once again, complete in box. And this is just a freebie. I already own this on the Super Nintendo, but I'm happy to have it. I mean, you're gonna pay $200 for 3 games, you might as well pay $200 for 4 games, right? So there we go. Excited to have that one. I'll show the back of it there. No showgirl on this one, just spaceships and monsters. What are you gonna do? Well, all right, guys. There's another pickups video in the bag. I think this is like number 13, which is pretty good. If you like the content, guys, and you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, hit the bell notification, and leave me a comment down below. I answer like every one of them, and I definitely read every one of them. And if you're really a big fan, consider becoming a channel member. You get access to the videos early, you can get your name read out at the end of a video, you can sponsor part of a video, or if you really want to be a high roller, you can pick a game out of my backlog for me to play and review, and I'll dedicate that section of the video to you. So thank you so much, guys, and I'll catch you next time.